Morning, everybody. I made a couple of videos on this subject or whatever, and I was kind of hesitant about posting it or whatever. But I wanted to take the time to talk to y'all about the election and the results or whatever. And then I realized that it's been almost a week, and I just wanted to take the time to talk to people who are willing to listen to to me as a regular person, a regular man, a person who gets up every morning, goes to work, and works hard. Just take the time to shed my light on what happened. As a man in America and as a black man in America, I happen to be I was born in Brooklyn, New York. When I was growing up, there was a man who was always in the news. In New York, Jersey, and different areas. I mean, not different areas, but his name was Donald Trump. Even as a boy, I remember this man came off to be as smug, selfish a person that I had ever seen. Everything is all about him. Um, with that being said, nothing has changed, and I'm really in shock that this man actually won. Um, I will say this early. I feel that I feel that we weren't dealt the greatest of hands um, with our candidacy or with our candidates this year. There were some untrustworthy things that has been, not really brought to light, but Hillary had some question marks. I feel like Hillary made a bad decision as far as a running mate, and not to throw him under the bus or whatnot. But I feel like she had the best chance to win by and really saving the free world by choosing. She should have chosen Bernie Sanders as her running mate. Um, that's just me. That's just my opinion. Um, that was what the thing going on the longest, and as long as it did, as far as campaigning, I think that was the only way that she would have won. With that being said, last I checked, I haven't checked since the day after the election, but last I checked, America did speak. The last I checked, Hillary had more votes than him. Um, Trump had less votes. I think that needs to be fixed. He won more states. He won more electoral votes by winning states. But more Americans actually picked Hillary, which in a way, I don't think in my lifetime we've saw that. We've seen it come very, very close. But I don't think in my lifetime we've seen someone actually win the popular vote and lose the election. Um, I know the first thing I heard Pence say in their acceptance speech is America has spoken. And he was right. The majority of Americans wanted, the majority of the Americans that voted wanted Hillary in office. Now, um, we're going to turn, like, that was my objective speech. This is what I have to say as a regular person in America. Donald Trump, throughout this election, has really, I know a lot of people want to say, well, at least he says what's on his mind. But are you fucking crazy? Like, even if certain things are on your mind, for him to downgrade women, for him to downgrade the disabled, for him to downgrade our Latino brothers and sisters, for him to offend so many people, or so many different vast groups of people, it offends. I'm amazed that he even got 10 votes. To look at, this wasn't hearsay. This wasn't, you heard this man say things. You heard this man berate a handicapped person. You heard him degrade women. You heard his voice. And, like, here's the thing. You hear everybody that didn't vote for, like, as far as celebrities and all of that stuff, you hear everybody who didn't vote for Trump voicing their opinion. The people who did vote for Trump are saying nothing. Not because they won. Not because Trump won, and there's nothing that needs to be said, but because they're ashamed of what they did. They're ashamed of themselves. But they did it. Which, to me, it exposes, yeah, we had a black president for the last 8 years, but it goes to show where we really are. The black president was just the better candidate. It never showed that we were equal. It never showed that people wanted to be part of history. And this is not a downgrade on Barack. I think Barack did an excellent job, as good of a job as you can get when you were handed really the worst situation in a transition ever, from president to president. A lot of people will say, our debt is $18 trillion, and when Barack got in office, it was $12 trillion. That's correct. Sometimes you have to slow the bleeding before you can stop it. He only had 8 years. And in the 8 years prior to him, the debt went up $8 trillion. Now, with that being said, there were no jobs when Barack came into office. There were a lot of job opportunities have been afforded to us now. And I appreciate that, because I was one of those people who couldn't find a job while Bush was in office. I was one of those people who was told, oh, you're overqualified to do smallest of jobs. A lot. You have too much experience, we would have to pay you too much money. I was told that when I was just trying to feed myself. At the time I didn't have kids, I was trying to feed myself. I went through 8 years of that. A couple of layoffs, all of that. I'm gonna say this. Now I spoke to you as a man. Now I'm gonna speak to you as a black man, as a minority. This great country. To those of you who actually went out and casted your ballot and voted for Donald Trump, after a man says the things that he said about different races, different creeds, different cultures, we as a people feel like you threw us under the bus. To every single one of you, we feel like you stabbed us in the back. To all 58 million of you that voted for him, we feel like you stabbed us in the back, without a doubt. It's not even that you sold your soul. Because you know what was right and the right thing for you to do. Even if you didn't vote for anybody on the presidential ballot, you knew what was right for you to do. You knew what was morally right for you to do. And you just said, I'm not going to. Because he's a businessman and he's done this for himself and he can do that for us. Let me explain something to you. What he's done for himself has been based off him being selfish. What he's done for himself was to line his own pockets. What makes you think that every move that he makes in office is not going to be for him to line his own pockets? Good job. Good job. I think we are in for the worst 4 years since I've been on Earth, since 1980. That's what I think. I think all of this stuff, and to be honest, I don't even think, and I don't want y'all to get me wrong, so before I want to preface what I'm going to say with the fact that I don't think anybody is going to do something to harm our president. And I'm not affiliated with anybody who may try. But I actually think this presidency will last 2 to 3 years, not due to violence, not due to somebody doing something to him, but due to the fact that if his business starts to lose any dollars, as selfish as a man as he is, he will resign. That's what I think. And if he does, this video will be on YouTube. If he does resign, I will repost this bitch everywhere, this video. Just so y'all can know I was right. I've been saying throughout the campaign that this guy was an idiot. And he showed y'all that. And y'all didn't care. To those of you who voted for him, y'all did not care.